Living Will, and those are places that you can find these on the beautiful internet. Personal grieving professional practice, we just talked about that. Personal loss resolution process can serve as a model for clients. It's a pretty great thing. And so I like to end my presentations with a poem by Henry Van Dyke. You guys know this poem. It's called Gone From My Sight. I'm standing on a seashore. A ship by my side spreads her white sails to the moving breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She is an object of beauty and strength. I stand and watch her at length until she hangs like a speck of white cloud just where the sea and sky come to mingle with each other. Then someone at my side says, there, she's gone. Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. She is just as large in mast, hull, and spar as she was when she left my side, and she is just as able to bear her load of living freight to her destined port. Her diminished size is in me, not her. And just at the moment when someone says, there, she's gone, there are other eyes watching her coming. And there are other voices ready to take up the glad shout. Here she comes. That is dying. There's nothing to fear. Help me spread the word, would you? I am ready to take questions. We have 10 minutes. I'm going to take a breath. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any experiences or advice that you can offer to those of us working with persons that are dying but are not conscious?
Advice for persons who are dying who are not conscious? Yes. So that whole part where they're coming out of their body and trying, their spirit is being loosed. Here's my experience. When that happens, they start to go to the other room, whatever the other room is, and they may have conversations. And when you talk to them, it takes them a while to pull themselves back, and they have to come back to here. And then eventually, they get to the point where they're not moving, they're not talking, and my estimation is they are in the other room. Also, from what I understand about the near-death experiences, people talk about the people kind of hanging down, and they'll come back and look. It's like they come back and check on us and see what's happening. So for people who are not conscious, lotion, if the person liked to be touched, get some really beautiful smelling lotion and rub that on their hands and rub that on their legs and talk to them. Tell them what you need to tell them. If they haven't been given permission to go, you can tell them it's okay for them to go. Think about how the person was in their regular life. Were they quiet? Did they like people around? Did they not want people around? And sometimes if people are hanging on and there's a whole bunch of people in the room, they're waiting for people to leave. And if you can, if you think that's what's happening and you can shoo some people out, shoo some people out. And sometimes being touched at the very last part, they're doing this kind of reaching and then they're not doing anything and they're not going and they're not going and we're touching and hanging onto their legs. They need to let go, and us touching them is keeping them here. There's an energy that transfers between us and them. Doesn't always happen, but I have talked to people who've been at the bedside, and I've talked to family. The dying people, read accounts of dying people who've said, you guys need to leave. And you, as a family member, you want to be there. Some people want to be there with the person who's dying, but kind of gauge that. You guys are intuitive people, or you wouldn't be in this job that you're in. I bet you. So that would be where I would start.
Do you have any resources for the individual who is going through a terminal illness, who's fearful, what kind of resources can you assist them?
the individual who is going through the process and what kind of resources you can give to them. I like to give people a book called Final Gifts. It was written in 1992 by Callanan, Callanan, and Kelly. I give that to people who have a terminal illness, who may not be, maybe they're on hospice or thinking about hospice, and then I give it to family members. And it talks a lot about these stories that I shared. And it gives a different framework for people to think about and talk about. Also, the internet is a fabulous thing, and there are all kinds of support groups now for people who have the exact kind of illness you have. And for those people, being able to connect with one another is really powerful. The downside of that is people die, and they're in those groups. A friend of mine has ovarian cancer, and a number of her people in that group have died recently. Downside, upside, it's fodder for conversation.
What's the name of the book again?
Final Gifts, Callanan, Callanan, and Kelly. It was written in 1992. Yes, ma'am.
In your experience with the last 30 minutes of what we've been talking, have you seen, is there any difference to where they were in their spirituality, atheism, whatever?
Oh, interesting. Is there a difference in their spirituality? The people that I've been with have all been spiritual people on some level. I've read a bunch about people who say they're atheists and they have visions just like everybody else does. There are instances where people wake up in the last moment and their eyes get wide and they say how beautiful, or there they are, or Steve, what's his name, the guy who founded Apple, Steve Jobs. Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. Yeah, it's different. It's different for everybody, and some people don't wake up. Some people don't have any of these experiences, and those families, I give them books to read, and I say, imagine what could have happened. Let's create a new story. Okay, thank you all very much for your time. It's been great. Thank you.